had a few people ask me to show them how to get Linux running on the Atari VCS console over here. And it's actually pretty simple. All you need is a little USB with a live Linux distribution on it. Just plug it into the system, and when you turn it on, you just have to mash the escape key. And then it'll come up with this little BIOS screen, and select Boot Manager. Then your USB. And then it'll start booting. I'm just running Ubuntu 20.10 at the moment. Unfortunately, only secure boot enabled Linux distributions will boot on the Atari, so you can't just run any old distribution on there. So I tried an old version of Void Linux, some various independent distributions, and even Haiku. Unfortunately, they do not boot. You get a message that they're not supported under this security context or something like that from the boot menu. So I'll just wait until boots up and have a look at performance. Alright, here we are in Ubuntu. So just go try Ubuntu. And here we are in the desktop. Now the desktop performance is quite good. There's very little tearing or slowdown. Here's the system monitor. Currently running at 1.2 gig of the 6 gigabytes of RAM in there. Very low CPU usage. It's running an AMD Ryzen embedded R1606G with Radeon Vega graphics, apparently the Raven 2 graphics, which seem to run quite well. I'll just install it on the drive that I've installed in there. It's an M.2 WD Blue. That's 250 gigabyte. Now, when selecting the drive you want to install on, so now when you're selecting the drive you want to install on, you do not want to select the dev MMC BLK0. That is the 32 gigabytes of internal flash storage that holds the special Atari operating system on there. So you want to install it on the drive that you've installed in there yourself. So I'll just create the partitions. and you want to select the bootloader installation, bootloader to install on dev SDA. That's the internal SSD. That's a SSD you've installed. And go install now. Alright, the installation is complete, so just have to restart. Alright, remove the USB and press enter. So you'll need to mash escape again whenever you want to boot into that new installation. Select boot manager and then in this case Ubuntu. Alright, here we are in Ubuntu, so I'll just do a little bit of setting up and then switch over to a screen recording. Alright, I'm here in Ubuntu, and you may have noticed that this isn't regular Ubuntu, but actually Xubuntu. I was having some problems with full screen games, so switch over to this. Alright, and I have installed a couple of games as well as Steam. And here we are. Performance is okay. It's pretty good when you're not recording at least. When you are recording, the frame rate drops significantly. Well, yes, it drops significantly and the recordings look pretty horrible. As for gaming performance, in Portal 2 the performance is actually quite good. I think I was getting about 70-ish FPS when not recording, and it's definitely quite playable at medium settings. As for Half-Life 2, equally good, if not better. At medium settings, pretty decent performance, no complaints. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the frame rate was hovering around 60 FPS and it was stuttering a bit. I have a feeling that's due to the only 6 GB of RAM available, which filled up quite quickly, as well as the GPU was taking up 2 GB of the system memory, that's DDR4, leaving 6 GB to the main system, since there are 8 GB total. I don't think there's too much more to say about it. The game performance is okay on medium settings for lower end titles and older titles. I would not expect it to work very well at all for any modern titles, especially things like Doom. That would just not work too well. I'd get like I'd expect single digit frame rates. Alright, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Actually, before we go, I'd just like to say that I've been editing this entire video on the Atari, and it's been performing quite well. It's been quite smooth, quite very responsive, and it's perfectly adequate for what I needed to do. Alright, now this is definitely the end this time.